this episode of Hung Chin Hon or Sweatin Money. We may or may not have ownership or other positions in the stocks mentioned on the show. Don't buy stocks based solely off what you hear from this podcast, and always do your own homework and research before buying and investing in stocks. I'm your host, Kong. And unfortunately, my co-host cannot be here. So, let's take a look at what's in the news. Rates were officially raised on Treasury bills from 0.215% all the way up to a whopping 0.28%. Huge increase, huh? So according to chart readers, we may be close to what's known as a Jaws pattern, which many people are saying may mean things will drop soon. This according to TheStreet.com, the site started by Jim Cramer, who didn't predict the 2008 crash. Business Insider has an article on how analysts tend to be on the more optimistic side. So when you buy stocks thinking that it'll go up for sure, you might want to think twice on that one. According to Yahoo News, which took this piece from the AFP, Venezuela's legislature is under the majority control of the right-wing government. However, if you look at the IB Times, it's actually more of a center-right coalition of parties and has a risk of breaking apart. Although the president is still a family member of the late Hugo Chavez and is following his leftist policies, the coalition is trying to diversify Venezuela's economy and not just rely on oil, which has seen a dramatic slide in prices. Another objective on their agenda is to put production caps on oil to help bolster the price. For low-income Venezuelans, however, there's a risk of some changes to social programs that may get cut under this new mix of legislators. For us, the oil may be a big deal, but we'd have to see how the production caps are going to affect things. And if you like Keurig Coffee, a European company, JAB Holding has gained 60% of control over the company, buying $13.9 billion worth of its shares. Now, if you're sick and tired of gas cars but can't afford to buy an electric car yet, you might want to consider buying some stock in LG Chemicals, if you're allowed to buy foreign stocks traded on the Korean Stock Exchange, that is, because Tesla signed a deal with them to have their batteries made. LG Chemicals also makes batteries for other auto manufacturers like Ford, Renault, and Audi, which is owned by Volkswagen, and might be making batteries for Nissan's electric vehicles. So let's take a look at the weekend review. You saw a major dip on Tuesday was down a bit from Monday, and Wednesday went down a bit further. Well, came back up and then, kind of came back down on Friday. So let's take a look at today's performance. Today, markets were down just like Monday. The Dow Jones was down 117 points, S&P was down 14 points, and the NASDAQ fell 40 points. Spartan Motors. When I bought these guys back in... Sorry, let me do the intro again. Portfolio review. Let's do that. Spartan Motors, when I bought these guys at $5 2 years ago, actually, it was a bargain that doubled in price quickly. And then it fell, and I thought, it would only be a matter of time before they bounce back up. Well, they didn't. And analysts are saying they'll be lucky to hit the $4 share price point. And this is a problem with the way I invest. I have a bunch of money in little pockets here and there, and that becomes a cumbersome issue to keep track of all the stocks. I should have watched this one sooner. Now, the last good thing that came from them is a new app for RV owners. However, this major loss is in the bigger industrial vehicles. Their RV division is still making quite a bit of profits. So we'll see if this company actually turns around. But I don't know, it's looking like I might actually cut my losses and sell some of the stuff. Honestly, we have nothing today. Let me backtrack. We do have something for the next section of investing strategies, and that is to look at hoard gifts of money and tax refunds and other windfalls. So looking back at that same article we had mentioned last week. Last week we talked about getting out of debt and paying off those debts quickly. This week we're going to look at hoarding, or I will look at hoarding money. So ways to hoard money is, let's take a look at tax refunds, right? You can sock away half of it for a sort of, quasi emergency fund type of situation. and we'll get into that maybe at a future date. But yeah, you want to save some money set aside for rainy days, and then use the rest of that money to pay off any sort of debts that you may have. But of course, if you don't have any debts, hey, take that money and invest it, either through some sort of low management fee fund of some sort, something through Vanguard. They usually tend to be pretty low, or shop around. So if only Gibson was here, we'd be able to talk about this a little bit in depth. But maybe I'll revisit this next week, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. Recommendations. Now there is no recommendations, so let's go ahead and skip this part. Come on.